Broadcast live.
Yo, we out here with Kid X, you know, brand new album, double album in the studio, as is, as we should, as we could, as we would. Who said we can't, you know? X, man, my first question just with the album, you know, I was like, why a double album when people got so much ADD?
Yeah. The main reason is to break people out of that.
Yeah.
The current wave is obviously very living in the now and consuming, binge consuming everything and really just not holding anything close to you for too long, you know what I mean? So for me, putting out a double album was literally going against that entire institution.
Yeah.
And I guess for the most part, I felt like the story I needed to tell really needed people in a certain frame of mind type of thing. So it had to be a large body of work that was gonna really get people to really zone into the body of work. Like you can't be too distracted when you have to, in terms of having to understand it. I mean, you could consume it in like a whatever surrounding you find yourself in, but for the purpose of understanding it and really grasping what it is that the project is about, I think you needed to really just shut everything down and really zone in.
This is a double album, people. Shit. You know,
all the time.
You know what I mean? Well, what I want to say though, when I was listening to the album, is you held it down for me to a point where I never felt it was a double album, right? I mean, it's only like close to the end where I was like, I'm going to just say, you know what I mean? But but I think like it's literally like a good body of work, you know. I mean, it's doing a double album ain't child's play.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, also, you know, I mean, speaking from a first time listen, it grabbed me from the first time. And maybe the songs that I was like, in the end, maybe it's because it was still the first time also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talk about you go to Mzalawam, you know?
No, you put me on earth to fulfill a purpose. Every day I unpack what you got in store. Give me all the ingredients needed to put food on the table, ensure that I never starve. Surround me with a family that's...
What's the most complicated thing you've gone through in the industry? You talk about your uncle's passing, you have a supportive family, and your independent journey. What was your cousin saying when he was singing Mzalo? I love the chorus, by the way. Yeah. So this is a good album. Yeah, it's a good album, but I just want to say that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading my notes, but like, you know, like, I actually enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out. Look, I mean, along the journey of me making the album, I mean, this album, I feel like I've spent my entire life making it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just in terms of maybe a conceited effort focusing on the music, the past 2 years have been really telling, you know what I mean? So, I'd play music for my family in between the time I was making it, because as much as people were stressing me about the album, dog, you don't even know the half of the stress I was getting from home. Just in terms of them wanting to know, yo, is it ready? When is it coming out? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'd play the music, and obviously we'd have conversations in between where we'd be talking about just whatever my experience would be and what I was going through at the time. So, I mean, with that specific song, that's not even like a song that I played him specifically, but just in terms of me playing him, the direction of the album, where we were going with the sound, with the narrative and everything. I mean, that's where that song literally fumed from, because he was obviously identifying with my pain and whatever situation and struggle I was going through at the time. But he, I guess, might have been someone who saw the light at the end of the tunnel prior to me even seeing it, you know what I mean? So him chanting or him singing Mzalawam as depicted in the song, it's sort of him spurring me on to say, yo, the race is still on, and I know how shit is gonna work out in the end. So keep going, don't put your head down, just keep firing and focusing on what needs to be done.
So what, you were disheartened just generally?
Look, I mean, situations in the game can get you down, dog, because I can tell you now, whenever I'd have a convo with him, it would stem from, yo, when is the project dropping? And for the longest time, it always seemed like the odds were like stacked against me not to even drop a project. Because if you look at it from an angle of when I had a project ready, and in my belief, in my head, I felt like this is how I'd want to present myself as my first offering. This is my album. And to then being turned down and being told about, this is not what we had in mind for you in terms of what an album should sound like and so forth. So, I mean, like, coming from that situation, you sort of look at every situation like it's sort of built against you coming out with a body of work. And then add to that the pressure from everyone else who feels like they believe in you. I mean, it becomes a lot. So I think that's where the entire discussion stemmed from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've been through a lot. I mean, context. Obviously, you dropped the mixtape, like rebelling the fact that you rebelling the bar of it as an album.
Yeah,
You know, you ended up dropping it as a mixtape.
Yeah.
And obviously there's been the ups and downs with the label. Well, with Cash Time, and you were with Cash Time. You know.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, the biggest challenge also, you know, I mean, you can be mad at a business, but you also have a respect for the people. So you always have this conflict of, you know, I feel I could have been done wrong in this way or that way at Cash Time, but I respect the people though.
Yeah.
There's the human aspect of it also, where there's respect, you know what I mean?
So that forces you to also like just try and maybe zoom out of the situation and try and look at it from their perspective as well.
Yeah.
To try and figure out like, yo, where are they speaking from when they make such a decision or such a call about the project? So yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Umfazwe Pepper.
The bigger local time that you were one of a kind. The lucky charm on my arm every time I step out. Plus all my niggas knew you as Umama Seka. No realistic why I starting good to Tabatepa.
You know, I was asking myself, what was it about Umfazwe Pepper? Where does that name come from? And when was the song recorded? Because I also haven't heard Umashai in a long time.
Yeah. Umfazwe Pepper, I think for me, my earliest memories of hearing Umfazwe Pepper was on like these sitcoms from back in the day.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. Where does, because that's where I know it from also.
Yeah, full on. I don't have the actual name of the show in my head, but it's an old name.
Yeah, I know what it was.
About Tichi and them cats, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to see how far you go. You were super young though.
Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, the strange thing is that a lot of the titles on the album, sort of like, if you put them together, they're like an entire community, and they how we address each other as South Africans, you know what I mean? Whether someone is from literally your birth by your mother or not, like someone who's female and is older than you call them usis, type of thing. Abo auntie, mama, and so forth. So for me, I think that entire theme started to take shape in the latter stages of the album. But for a song like Mfazwe Pepper, we were literally like, how Mfazwe Pepper came about was, I was in studio for about a week with Chief, Younger Chief, and Makwa Beats, and Nota, of course. So we worked on about 8 songs, literally. This was mid-2017. If you felt like you needed something for your project, you could easily come to that basket and grab whatever you needed. So Mfazwe Pepper was a song that came up then. For me, it obviously made more sense when I was piecing together the track list and just the order of the album. I felt like that's a song that is important for me because of obviously the journey that I've traveled. I felt like that's the story that I need to tell.
So you recorded around 2016?
2016, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't heard Mashai in a while, so I was like,
yeah,
this could have been recorded a long time ago, probably when he was also pretty active, you know?
Yeah, full on. Mashai, Actually, what we wanted to do with Mashaya, because initially the chorus of the song was written by Nota. So he wasn't ready to make his like national debut.
Yeah.
Because he knew we were gonna give it the full treatment, run with it as a single, drop the video. So he felt a bit somehow. So we called in Mashaya, and then we tried him out on the hook. But Mashaya is Mashaya.
Oh, of
like,
course.
He does things in a Mashaya way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that same hook, we felt like how he was performing it was not quite the way, because we literally wanted someone to trace
Notice.
exactly what he's done. So
Yeah, he was a lead, basically. Note was a lead.
yeah. So I mean, we then opted for, okay, Mashaya, maybe listen to the song and tell us what you can contribute. And I mean, he literally brought so much to that record. I feel like there's an ongoing cry from the very first minute in the song that he does until the last minute. You know what I mean? Like he's crying throughout the entire song, though. You won't even notice it because it's so a part of the aesthetic of the beat. You know what I mean? So he co-produced the song on some level.
Wow.
And then he's got the bridge at the end, which takes it home. So shout out to him.
With Get Up,
But it's alright cause we still play her. Tell a hater get the fuck on my face. Me, I pray for better days for me and my family.
you know, I mean, I hear there's a lot of guitar inspired in this album.
Yeah.
Including this joint. With the guitars live, you know, with the guitars live.
Yeah. Had to get the live guitar.
Do
dog.
you know something about Get Up?
Tell me.
There's a part where someone they got a message on an iPhone. And I think it must have been the session guy, and he was like, yo.
It messes me up every time, I swear. Like,
Okay, cool. I was like, is it me? But I'm like, how can I even hear my phone? You know?
yeah, it messes me up every time, though.
That's the guitar, right? It must have been the guitar.
It's definitely a phone. Like, I definitely think it's a phone
I'm sure
in
it
the
was
session.
I'm sure it was the guitarist because
yeah.
because if vocal, if you hear that, at least you can rap
definitely
things again,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I mean, a guitarist, when you've got that, when you've got
special moment,
that special
yeah.
moment, and you get that message, you like,
It's definitely during, yeah, definitely.
But like, when did you hear it though? Because like the record is out now. When did you hear this message? People are getting people.
I'll be honest, dog.
The people who are literally on like Nokia first generation phones, and they keep on getting it all the time. That's when I'll make it nothing iPhone
With a message again.
Yeah,
Dog, I'll be honest, like, for me, I realized at some stage, like, yo, whatever discrepancies I pick up right now, there's no going back. You know what I mean? Because I've always felt like, look, if I'm gonna do a proper, like, broom sweep of the project to make sure that everything is where it needs to be, it's never gonna drop.
yeah.
So at some point, I got to a point where I was like, you know what, whatever I pick up from here on, that's the design of it, you know what I mean? And I was comfortable with it. I felt like, you know what, I realized this maybe when we were going to mastering with the project, and I kept hearing the sound, and I was like, you know what, I mean, look, it's a story to tell. For someone who's gonna get the album, they're gonna have that story to tell.
I'm sure when you heard it, you're like, yo, I hope I can effects like we have any printer, any photo state machine.
Yeah, dog. It was one of those, but yeah, I don't think it's too much of a trace smash.
So that's dope. That's dope, though. I mean, but talking about beats, you know, in Josie City Lights, you know,
I'm a pep pot in the sky. Got a handful of cheese and vodkas, cash on the car. Skip, I want my cash, yellow champagne, pulls one ching if I did ask for.
it is. I know that it's a Makwa beat, yeah. How do the sessions work with Makwa? You know, I mean, and, you know, he says he charges a couple of thousands,
200,000.
Yeah, nigga out his man. I'm gonna say it straight, yo.
Yeah.
But like, but how does the session work with him? Do you create with him? Does he pitch a beat with the chorus? How does it, I mean, I'm trying to understand, if I'm gonna pay 200K, is it a complete beat? No, you're not out of your mind, Marco, because we gotta negotiate some shit.
I think when we worked on the album, So this is from end of 2015 all the way down to like, damn, it's 2018 already.
Damn right.
Yeah. When we started working on the album, me and Marco were actually living together. So he'd wake up earlier than I do. And I'd wake up from the sound of a beat playing next door, literally. Yeah. And automatically, well, in some cases not, but I'd already have like an idea of just what I wanted to do with the beat. So with a song like Josie City Lights, I think for me that's a song that was the easiest on the album. Like that's literally the quickest record that we made on the entire album. It probably took us like 20 minutes, literally. He made the beat, he had a hook in mind, he put it down, and for me the verses literally just flowed through me, you know what I mean? It came together beautifully. And yeah, for him, I guess it works in different ways. Like sometimes the beat, sometimes you can come to him with an idea for a chorus and he can build around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Broadcast live